Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. So I'm going to start out with a bit of fun this afternoon. Steven Huber here on Twitter. A company called Ripple Foods received fair notice for selling unregistered securities. The case was probably an internal misunderstanding in the SEC administration. Hey Jay, did we already give Ripple fair notice? Yes, our intern Kevin took care of it. So Ripple Foods, for those of you guys who do not know, is another company that goes by the name Ripple. And apparently, this is true, they received a notice from the SEC notifying the SEC and or each state in which this notice is filed in the offering of securities described as undertaking to furnish them upon written request in the accordance with applicable law, the information furnished to offerees. So Ripple Foods selling illegal coin offerings. Was it a mistake? Did the intern Kevin deliver the memo to the wrong Ripple? Steven Huber down here saying, guys, even if it actually is reality, the implication I'm making is a joke. Of course you're making a joke, Stefan, but I know some people will take this too seriously. I don't think it's actually a misunderstanding though, but the coincidence is funny. So maybe Ripple Foods is also a company that is indeed under SEC scrutiny, although it could just be a mistake as well. I just thought that was kind of funny, considering now the SEC is going after Ripple Foods, at least as per this document here from back in October of 2020. Hilarious. And with regards to the SEC lawsuit, we really are just waiting on a settlement. I saw this from Mac Attack XRP here. The SEC is remaining uncooperative. So despite that repeated instruction, the SEC persists in refusing to search an obvious repository for responsive evidence on external communications. The never-ending legal saga between the SEC and Ripple has had a new development. Ripple Labs has filed a motion to compel the Securities and Exchange Commission to turn over their documents, but they are still stalling. The court has ordered the SEC to search all of the relevant repositories for documents and discovery for communications between the SEC and external third parties relating to XRP, Bitcoin, and Ether. After the SEC resisted, the court reaffirmed that the SEC must produce communications with third parties, including external agencies and market participants. We know about a lot of this. I did a video just the other day about the 60-day extension that they were requesting. I'll link it up here if you guys didn't catch that. But just going to go down here real quick. The SEC has repeatedly delayed its production while telling Judge Torres that the ordered discovery was irrelevant and needless, and asking the court to extend the discovery deadlines based on inter alia on the fact that the defendants have raised a number of concerns regarding the SEC's review and production of internal documents and communications responsive to Judge Netburn's April 6, 2021 order. In other words, the SEC cites its own delay as the reason for extending the schedule. The only way to solve this problem is with a strict deadline, the motion stated. So they want to drag this out. And, as I've said before, dragging it out means tiring out your opponent. Now, in this case, Ripple's got a very experienced, very dedicated and good team of lawyers to fight this. But the SEC to me seems like they're trying to get something, trying to still fight tooth and nail in order to get that favorable result. Fortunately for XRP hodlers, it really doesn't look likely that the SEC is going to get everything that they want. Now, I don't know if you guys caught Jeremy Hogan's video on the weekend. He did a video just basically explaining what a settlement would look like, but I'm just going to synopsize that for you guys here. This posted by DJ Peter Vass, and this article from Crypto Newsflash basically just summarizes what Jeremy Hogan says in his video. If you do want to watch the Jeremy Hogan video, it is linked in this article. So he goes on, talks about prior cases and discusses what a settlement could possibly look like. For Ripple, the first thing it will be looking for is the ability to resume its business. For some crypto companies, the SEC's charges drove them out of business, like Paragon Coin. If a penalty is imposed or if there is a disgorgement of profits from sales, it will have to be at a level that does not bankrupt the company. Whatever number we see in that settlement, it will be a number that Ripple can afford. The second thing that Ripple will be out is clarity moving forward. So this, I think, is going to be one of the more important things because Ripple does not want to be brought into court again. The clarity is what they're going to want. Ripple and the secondary market need to know that the SEC debacle is behind it. According to Jeremy, the SEC would never agree to drop all future charges against the secondary market or exchanges for XRP security violations. However, the regulator can make it clear that sales from the filing of the lawsuit forward are not sales of securities. That's about as much clarity as the market will get. And so Justin B here on Twitter asked Jeremy Hogan a question. Jeremy, great video as per usual. I have two follow-up questions. One, considering that the SEC's case seems to be imploding, why would Ripple even want to settle? And two, what happens and how likely is it if Ripple wins by virtue of a summary judgment? Jeremy Hogan responds here, parties always should settle if the terms make sense to them because it's their only chance to 100% control their own destiny. And number two, I think Ripple has one strong and one very strong argument at summary judgment. I like the odds here, but truly no one can tell you who will win. This article continues down here about another possibility. One other solution for Ripple is that they sell its escrowed XRP directly to accredited investors and or corporations. It can do this by selling XRP to its on-demand liquidity customers. These are usually banks or payment processors. If the two agree to a settlement, XRP would be back on exchanges in no time. Another quote from Jeremy Hogan here, the next effect would give exchanges the confidence to relist XRP. They just need a little push, and I'm confident a settlement as outlined would lead to relisting XRP en masse. So, for those of you guys, again, interested in watching that video, it is linked down here. And ultimately, a settlement, it doesn't sound like Ripple is actually asking for too much, just the clarity moving forward, and likely a penalty that would not bankrupt them. And I don't think it's actually legal to bankrupt a company in court if that is what the penalty entails. So, looking quite favorable for Ripple. And guys, if this is the case, moving forward, if we do get that second point, that clarity that Jeremy Hogan outlines, what is that going to mean for the industry? And is this essentially how we're going to formulate more meaningful cryptocurrency regulatory clarity moving forward? Well, Charles Hoskinson, the creator of Cardano, here's what his thoughts are with regards to altcoins, Bitcoin, and the industry moving forward.
And unlike the past cycles in 2017 and 18, compared to today where we're at, we're now in a situation where we've decoupled from Bitcoin, and people are starting to realize that while that was a great experiment, it's not the end-all be-all, and that there's more to the story. And unlike the past, the macro is starting to actually move in our favor instead of just being this weird cyclic thing. We will move beyond an industry that is deathly afraid of a $60 billion stablecoin being solvent or not. We're going to move beyond an industry that's deathly afraid of a hash rate falling because a single nation state makes a stupid decision to ban mining or not. We're going to move beyond that, and we're going to recognize that this industry is about systems at its core. This industry is about redesigning the way the money in your pocket works and redesigning the way you express yourself and relate to others. The social finance, so the SoFi side, the expression side, the communication side, the privacy side of things, and how you choose to live your economic life.
So stating it here, altcoins eventually going to decouple from Bitcoin, and there's a bigger, broader industry out there. The real world utility is there. It just needs to be implemented. And, a lot of what is stifling this is the SEC lawsuit. And so, Ripple, one of these bigger companies that is in court right now with the SEC, and, even as Jeremy Hogan puts it, number 2 here on his list is that Ripple really does want to have that clarity moving forward. And we know, guys, with clarity moving forward comes a lot of crypto housekeeping. We'll know crypto is for real when coins start collapsing, guys. This for me in Northing, an article from Forbes magazine. I also wanted to bring this up from at Erica Gilbert 777 here on Twitter, just posting out this same article. The dirty little secret that's well known in Silicon Valley, but that's largely unknown outside of it, is that the vast majority of technology companies die, over 90% for sure. And coins are next. So this is a great little article here. The author here outlines the automobile industry. I'm not gonna read the whole thing because it is fairly lengthy. I will link it in the description. But he outlines the automobile industry at the beginning of the 20th century. We all think of the automobile industry as Henry Ford, and then there were a few car companies. But apparently it wasn't like this, and I didn't know this. There were a lot of car companies that just didn't make it. He then goes on to talk about the dot-com boom, and Netscape's August of 1995 IPO was the story of the time. All these dot-coms going up in value, Yahoo fetching over $400 per share, I think it was in 1999. And then what do we know of that? Everything just collapsed. In the early 2000s, many internet companies died. Clueless pundits said that the internet was dead, dangerously confused politicians called for investigations of the failures, and jail for the greedy, you guessed it, Wall Street financiers who allegedly put lipstick on the proverbial commercial pig. But the happy reality was that the US economy had just experienced yet another technology-propelled growth spasm that would forever change how we lived and worked for the exponentially better. Which brings us to the cryptocurrency wave. And so I'm going to read you guys this part here. Jeff Bezos long ago made plain something along the lines of, "Your margin is my opportunity." Oh well, ever since the severance of the dollar's link to gold in 1971, currency trading has become a necessary way to at least somewhat mitigate the monetary equivalent of a foot, degree, and minute that change in length, heat intensity, and time all day, every single day. With currencies no longer having strict meaning as agreed upon measures of value, the trading of some became a thing. Per Gilder, currency trading these days is a $5 trillion per day constant. And while trading is not as lucrative as investment banking, it's proven a source of Wall Street and hedge fund profits, except that margins once again exist as opportunity for innovators. So then they talk a little bit about trading cryptocurrencies, not so much about the real world utility. Again, guys, I will link this in the description of the video. Let me go down here, though. The author talks about this idea that there are more crypto concepts currently than there are global currencies. Once again, witless pundits, economists, and politicians don't understand what's happening. In this case, they don't because they've never understood what money is in the first place. If you don't get that it's a measure and nothing else, you can't really analyze money. So they focus on the prices of the coins, which is for them to miss the point. Good money is never a speculation. Right now, he states here that thousands of private forms of money are presently battling it out. Most of these currencies will crash. Yet another growth spasm that pundits and politicians will wholly misunderstand, but that will transform how we live, work, and transact, and that will end the cruel currency devaluations that are as old as money is. So of the over 10,000 cryptocurrencies that are currently in the space, they're being fairly conservative and saying only 90% will fail. Whereas, I've heard estimations of 99% failing. That coming, I believe, from Brad Garlinghouse himself. There will only be a handful of cryptocurrencies that will survive. Let's not forget what Ripple has going for them, and they've got many things going for them, but I just wanted to just bring this up real quick, the ISO 20022 protocol. For those of you guys who do not know, it is a new ISO standard for electronic data interchange between financial institutions. It describes a metadata repository containing descriptions of messages and business processes and a maintenance process for the repository content. The standard covers financial information transferred between financial institutions that includes payment transactions, security trading and settlement information, credit and debit card transactions, and other financial information. There are already some cryptocurrencies that have adhered to this standard, but Ripple, guys, back in June 2020, Ripple was the first to boast that they were the ones jumping on the ISO 20022 standard, at least the first member focused on DLT. So they said down here, now we're thrilled to share that Ripple is part of the ISO 20022 Registration Management Group standards body and the first member focused on distributed ledger technology. This membership enables us to meet the needs of our 300 plus customers by helping define the future direction of cross-border payment standards to evolve the ISO 20022 standard. And so just to put things into perspective here, guys, right now we are in 2021, so this is going live. This is the estimated ISO 20022 plan moving into the future. It is, or at least it is projected to be fully implemented by the year 2025. So all this just to demonstrate how serious Ripple is. And the fact that XRP likely not going to be one of the 90 or 99% of coins that fall to the wayside. It happened in the automotive industry. It happened with the dot-com bubble. Looking back, cryptocurrency, some will say it was a bubble, and those like us will say, thank goodness I invested in XRP during that bubble. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.